Actually, I got a onesie order, so I gotta make this onesie first. I gotta make sure I got the right sizes for this order. Do, do, do. Wow. Where the transfers for this order? Hello. Found it. Yes. My scissors out. My scissors. Hello, everybody. I'm just making some orders. If you want to join, you have nothing to do, you can come watch and hear me slowly slip into madness with my random thoughts as I'm just talking to myself. Boom. It's not hot enough yet. We're gonna wait for the heat. While we wait, let's drink some. Something. Hope you're having a great day. Let's see, I am in sunny California. Today looks like a pretty nice day. See, what was I thinking about earlier? What did I see on the news? Oh, I know what I saw on the news today that made me chuckle. So, what's the machine at? So I saw this thing on the news, and it was finance bros, and there's a new trend among them where they are injecting like filler straight into their, the third leg. And I was thinking to myself, this is the most ridiculous thing I've heard. So I guess they're doing that Patrick Bateman thing where they're trying to one up each other. And so they're going to like a specialist, and they're getting filler. You gotta do what you gotta do. But okay, so there's like so many things to this story that's making me like what is the world coming to? So these guys, I don't know if you know about finance people, but I remember when I was in like trying to go for my first internship, right? I wanted to go into finance, and I met with like a hedge fund guy, and he told me that to get into this world, you need there's like a few things. You need to be one from a rich family, right? Because if you're from a rich family, you know rich people, and you get their money to invest. So you need to be one, be from a rich family. Or if you're not from a rich family, go to like an Ivy League school so you know these people, so you can rake in their money to reinvest. If you're not from those two, then it's very hard to get into finance, right? That's just gives you some context about finance people. And then the other way is to work your butt off, like pursuit of happiness. But that's like really rare. You got to be from that world. So anytime you hear about like upper finance people, that's usually the path. But anyways, back to this ridiculous story. So apparently, like it's a thing now that they go, and they're trying to one up each other. And from the story I read, is the filler is making it grow. You're not trying to get length; you're going girth, like right. And then so I saw this once. The guy was saying that one of his buddies, his like friend down there, is bigger wide than it is long. Like how ridiculous is that? Like And they're like, it's like a competition. So one doctor said that he had a patient that came in, and the guy asked him like, is this the most amount of filler that you've ever put into somebody? And then the doctor was like, no, I've done more before. And then the finance bro was like, no, I want you to max it. I want to be the guy. I don't like that. That's insane. Um, and like seeing this story this morning reminds me of, I guess, a while back. What was also very popular was getting the enhancement like surgery, where you make it bigger, like longer, right? And why it popped up on my news feed is that the the doctor that kind of came up with the procedure is getting sued like crazy, because what they do is I'm trying to remember exactly. They make like a silicone thing that goes around your friend down there, and that's how they make it bigger. And like, it like kind of goes in there like a silicone implant, and it looks like. Oh, what am I working on? I got this order for custom onesies, and it's for a pair of twins, right? And so let me show you the design. So it's like, I don't know, you can see it's backwards here. Is this better? Yeah, there we go. So it's like they're twins. So it's like, so you know which twin is which, you know? Yeah, no, yeah. So like one's check marked, the other one's check marked. So they're matching. So I'm waiting for the machine to heat up. I'm Asian. I need that one. Oh, okay. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. And like, so a bunch of people got this procedure done, and like when you're like thinking about any of those procedures, like the thought and the journey to get it done is more like appealing than the actual results. That's what it feels like for any of these procedures, right? So like, this is what it looks like. So there's two of them, and then so like this doctor is now getting sued like crazy, because what happens is you get the implant, right? But now you got this like, like you got skin down there, right? So it forms around. So now when you're not ready to go, you know what I'm talking about? You have this like it's like a hard rubber band looking like thing on your friend down there, and it looks gross. And then so like afterwards, all these people were like regretting it, but it's like it's one of those procedures that once you get it done, like you can't go back in a way, right? And like I'm thinking about these finance guys and they're this silly filler thing that I saw on the news. And I'm like, once you get going, what's it gonna look like after you're done? Because you're like stretching the skin. Like when you come back, is it gonna look like a used like trash bag? You know what I'm talking about? Hi. Um. Oh my gosh. Like, I think I was thinking about the kind of people that are doing this. It's like these people. Like I said, most finance people at that level come from rich families or they know rich people. So in a way, they didn't have to work very hard to get there. And then they have these silly competitions with each other to kind of, like show off who's got more money or whatever. And it's like, it's so dumb. And it got me thinking about in life, like, just cannot be happy. Right? You're born into the best scenario that you can possibly be born in, into a like upper middle, like upper class family, in a way that you think that you're set, but there's all these like silly things that you have to do and you're still miserable. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's so. Like I was saying before, I was telling my other friend the other day, like, we're all in this race to kind of like, like get money or whatever. But there's always somebody that's going to be richer than you, no matter who you are. You're trying to race to get your first million, or, well, guess what? There's a guy that had his first million and now he's got 5 million. The guy that's got 5 million, you know what he's doing? He's chasing the guy that has 10 million. The guy that's got 10 million is chasing the guy that's got 30 million. The guy with 30 million, you know what he wants to do? He wants to chase the guy that's got 100 million. The 100 million guy, he's chasing billionaires. Billionaires, they're chasing other billionaires. And then, even at Elon Musk's level, right? I've said this before. They say he's the richest guy. But there are Saudi princes that control a whole country's worth of money. So they are trillionaires, right? And they can move stuff in a way that Elon cannot even do. So, like, in a way, he's chasing them, and I was saying that he wants to go to Mars so he could control the whole planet, and he could be the king of that planet, and then he'll be on top, you know? Yeah, I know. Yes, someone gets it. Like, so in the end of the day, like, you just gotta be happy with what you got and just try to do a little bit better. Don't try to get into that race of like, because it's all at the end of the day. Like, let's say you get into that race where like this is a common one where someone's got a nice car and you're trying to, like, the keeping with the Joneses stuff. Like, oh, Johnny's got a nice car, I gotta get a nice car. But at the end of the day, what Johnny does with his life and what you do with your life has nothing to do with each other. Like, if you get into trouble or something, Johnny's not gonna help you. You know? Like, there's no point in impressing the other people. Especially if you don't know them that well. Let's see, what else did I saw in the news that made me chuckle? You know what I was thinking about the other day? I was thinking about the Guinness World Records and how ridiculously crazy these I live to impress women. Okay. But like, that only goes so far. Cause I always feel like if you find a girl that is so easily impressed by material things, right? And no, I get it. They're after like guys that can like provide, and I totally get that. But if you are chasing a girl that's like that, you're gonna get into a whole nother world of hurt because they're constantly gonna want something, and it kind of reminds me of this guy I know, right? He's I want to say pretty successful. He's got like his pretty well known company, and right now he is miserable. I mean, I want to say his level of wealth is probably the 40 million range. Yeah, around there, around the 40 million range, right? And he's got his friends are like like semi-celebrity-ish friends, and he is miserable because he's got to constantly keep up with that lifestyle, and in a way, it's like he attracted that because he went after his wife is like that, where she likes the attention. She's like a stay at home, like that type where you're stay at home spending his money kind of type. And now all his friends, well, he doesn't have time for a lot of friends himself because he's always busy working. But now all her friends are that type where they're trying to like compare with each other, and oh, it's so miserable when I hang out with them because like I'm more like grounded, but she's got that. All those people, they have that LA vibe to them, you know, where like sometimes I'm like I don't even get it. They're like, oh, the flowers, like I remember, like she was talking to my wife and she was like telling her like, oh, the flowers aren't right. Oh my god, I'm so upset right now. The flowers, and I'm like, who cares about the flowers? Like it's like every little thing. Like oh, it was like so much, and it should be like, oh, I invited 100 people to this event, but only these many people came. I'm so upset right now. I'm like looking around like the place was packed, and I'm like I don't think this place could handle any more people. But like she's so obsessed with like showing off that she's got more than everyone else. And then the guy, oh no, it's not coming out. The guy is miserable because has to keep he's basically working like 80 gajillion hours a week because he's got to keep up making more money to keep up with her spending. That's what you got me off topic, but that's when I saw your comment about like you're working to impress women. That's the kind of girl that you might attract if you're like trying to be the flashy type. And if you see this guy, I'll tell you something that's very interesting though. If you ever see this guy on the street, you would never know that he is in that 40-ish million range. He's like in shorts, t-shirt, like regular, and he's very nice too. Like he's not like a complete ass. Because I've met other millionaires like that are complete asses, where they think because they made it to that level that everything is for them. Okay, back to what I was thinking about earlier. What else did I saw in the news that I thought was funny? Oh, I was thinking about the Guinness World Record and how ridiculous some of these records are getting lately. Like I saw one. It was like the record for the longest like masturbation, right? And it was 9 hours and 30 something minutes. I forget. I know it was 9 hours. That's for sure. And you have to do the Guinness World Record thing. You have to actually pay for someone to get it. They don't like that's the thing I don't like about the Guinness World Records or whatever, is they're not going out and like finding the guy that can like I don't know hold his breath the longest or whatever. They are like you contact them and you say, "Oh, I'm the guy that can masturbate the longest," right? And then they send out like an authenticator, right? And I'm chuckling because I'm like, this guy's got the record, right? some guy has to like be there. Like I mean, on their website, that's the process. Someone needs to be there. And imagine you're trying to get the record, and then some guy with a clipboard is just like timing you. But I don't know, that made me chuckle, because that was super funny. Like, and of course, if you guys can try to guess what race this guy is that's got the record. He there's only one. I mean, it's ingrained into their culture, I guess, where they want to be the best at everything that they do. And when I saw the thing before the headline, before I even clicked into it, I already knew that this guy had to be Japanese. Because I'm like, I don't know what it is about their culture, but they are obsessed with being the best at everything. Like, it's like being the best coffee maker, making the best pizza or whatever. So yeah, this guy's got the record for lasting the longest at 9 hours and 30 something minutes. Insane. I saw another Guinness record. It was like the the mental math one. I don't know if you guys seen this. It's very popular like in like India, like in India, or just like that area where they do math, and they're like, and it's like 1,805. You know, like they're just like this, right? And they look completely silly. Well, anyways, this guy contacted Guinness because he wanted the record, and it was like, I think he had to add together 100 different numbers or something, like 100 random numbers together in a minute, and then get the answer. And when I was watching him, he looked like, they all look silly doing that. But when I was watching him, I was thinking to myself, like, you learn this skill, right? The mental math skill when they're doing the numbers. Like, basically, I think how it's explained to me is they're basically doing an abacus with their hands. And so there's certain gestures where you're like adding, and you're like, oh, this is 1,000, this is 100, this means ones or whatever, right? And so he's doing all that, and he gets some like crazy number, like 100 something thousand. And I was like, you spent all those years learning to do the mental math at that level, when a calculator could also do that in like 2 seconds. And if you were doing that in school, this is what made me chuckle. Right? Imagine if you had a problem and it was like, I don't know, let's just say 1,000 plus 1,000, right? And you're doing the mental math thing, and you just write down 2,000. I remember when I was in school, if you did that, the teacher would still mark it wrong because they were like, you didn't show your work. So imagine you learn all that mental math stuff, and you still have to show your work on the math problems, because I don't know, that thought made me chuckle inside. You're like, it's 2,000, and then the teacher's like, it's wrong. You're like, why? Because you didn't show your work. How did I know you didn't use a calculator? I'm like, I am the calculator. Wow. What else did I see on the news today? I think. Okay, I thought this is pretty interesting. Where with all the plane crashes that are going on right now, and a friend of mine has a trip coming up. He's gonna go fly. Right, but he didn't buy the tickets yet. And I was thinking to myself like, oh, that's great, because with all the plane crashes that's going on right now, you would expect like ticket prices to go down for plane tickets. But guess what? They're actually going up. Imagine if the planes are falling out of the sky, and as you're falling out of the like, imagine as the plane is crashing now, right? As you're going down, you're like, I paid extra for this plane ticket to crash. like, I don't. I figured that with the plane crashes, the prices would go down on plane tickets, but no, they're going up. Like nothing makes sense anymore. How extra hurt would you be though, if you had to pay extra to for a plane to go crash? If you guys have any fun topics you want me to touch on, let me know. I'm just making shirts. Boop. Are you guys at work watching me, or is this? I am working on this order. I've been working on this order for the last 2-3 days. I had it. Hopefully this is the last day, so I can finish it and be done. I guess I saw also on the news right now. This is a big thing where it's the Luigi Maggioni thing case, and like in the beginning, I kind of had this idea that it was the Luigi guy. This was the biggest story for a while, and you know, with the news cycle, it completely fell off. Like not that many people even care like to follow it anymore. And if you guys don't know who Luigi Maggioni is, he's that guy that basically tried that you know, shot the healthcare CEO, and they're at the case is moving along. I thought what was interesting is that since Donald Trump, I think, is trying to reinstate the death penalty, his case got back into the people are starting to look into his case again, because now they are looking to get the death penalty for him. And so his defense fund got a huge surge of new donors. I think he's got like up to like, I'm trying to remember the exact number, but it was like either 500,000 or close to 1 million, somewhere around that range. I don't know. Someone could look that up real quick, but somewhere around that range. And like getting the jury for this case is gonna be like insane, because who hasn't had a bad experience with healthcare? I mean, technically everyone's has healthcare, and most people have negative thoughts about the healthcare insurance industry. So how are they gonna get a jury? I was thinking to myself like the only jury that they can get is they would have to find like babies. You know what I mean? Like little kids that have no experience with the healthcare system at all. To be like, this is one of the biggest cases. It was in the news everywhere, and it was all over social media. There's no way you can find unbiased jurors for this case. Oh, I hope they televise it though. That would be amazing. Pretty sure everybody's gonna be all into it, just like how the Johnny Depp case was. That was amazing. Oh, like I remember it felt like the world just stopped for the Johnny Depp case. Like I remember just like you go to any like picnic function or whatever, and everyone was talking about the Johnny Depp case. And how are they gonna find jurors for that? That's insane. Like he's way too popular. Because I'm like, sometimes they do the thing where they go by age, and like, are you going young? Young people are really informed because they they I guess like it's just a different time where people just have so much information now. It's not like the old days where they could just like spin a story in some other way. Make sure this is aligned. I saw that I don't know if you guys care or not, but I saw that Anthony Davis is now out for the whole season. Like that's that's insane. Imagine you make a trade, right? And for a player, and you're thinking everyone on the internet already hated the deal, right? AD for Luka. And they're like, how can you possibly make this trade? You guys are idiots. We don't care if Luka's out of shape. Like it doesn't matter. Luka is the next thing, right? And so, but you're in Dallas and you get AD. AD's no, he's no slouch. He's good, right? He plays one game with you guys, and we all know the thing about AD that everyone always says all the time. He's injury prone, right? And it's like he's made of glass, this guy. And he plays one game and gets injured. And at first they're saying like, oh, he maybe just a few weeks. But now they're saying that he could be out for the season. So the owners or whoever made the trade for AD must be feeling extra great right now because they really messed up, I'm almost done. I only got 5 more to do. Yes. 5 more, guys. Then I'm done with this order. Let's see. What else did I see in the news? I don't know. Some people say I talk about Trump and Elon too much, but like, that's what's on the news. This is my process. Okay, I wake up. I try to go to the gym in the morning, but sometimes I don't make it, and so I didn't make it this morning. So I'll probably go later on. And then I like to watch the news or just keep up with what's going on. And the only thing that's going on these days are plane crashes and Doge, like Elon stuff. So that's the main thing everyone's talking about. I mean, I guess I could talk about there's that I want to say she's a performer. I don't know you guys know the Lily Phillips girl, the one that did like 100 guys in one day or whatever. Uh, I don't know if this is real or not because like I can't tell these days if those images were are photoshopped or whatever, but or AI altered. But apparently, she's preggers now, and I saw that. I was like, "What? That's insane! Who would have saw that coming?" Ah, right? I'm like, "Whoa, she's pregnant!" And then now the joke online is like, "Okay, she's the one that did 100 guys in one day or whatever. Who's the daddy?" You know what I'm talking about? Where like, imagine that DNA test. That's insane. I I didn't watch all of it. I just saw little clips of her little thing. I think the most interesting part is that she filmed like a little documentary about it that day, and I thought it was very interesting to see like the guy that was like, I guess he was like near the end, and then I think he couldn't do it or something, and then they still interviewed him, and he was like shaking. That was crazy. Or like just to see the regret that she had later on, it just seems so weird. That's just a weird thing to see. But yeah, so she's preggers now, and then they're saying, I mean, this is the part I hate right now, where like everything's AI, where you have to be extra careful with everything. So I can't tell if those pictures are AI or not, but like she's really showing, right? So she's probably like 4 months. Hi there, Angela from Florida. I got an order of like shirts. They're like company shirts, so I am just making their shirts and talking about whatever comes to my mind. If you have topics that you want to talk about, I'll talk about it. If not, it's just random stuff that I see in the news or just maybe random stories about my childhood or whatever. Um, but yeah, but that's that's crazy. Just imagine that DNA test. Um, oh, when I'm thinking about Florida though, I'm thinking about because I see you're from Florida. I just think about the insurance prices right now. Like, cause I'm in California, and we had the whole fire thing, and the big talking point was the law insurance companies got out beforehand, and I heard the insurance companies are also leaving Florida as well. So it's not a California thing. Like a lot of people are saying, oh, it's like a California thing. It's not. It's like a whole country thing, and I don't think like a lot of people are even like talking about it. Where these insurance companies, right? You give them money, and they're supposed to be covered. And I used to work in insurance as well, like a long time ago, but like I had my license and everything. But it's been such a long time ago that I forget a lot of the rules. And I didn't do insurance for a very long time, so I'm not like an insurance master or anything, but there are all these like loopholes they try to do to try to not pay for things. I remember like water coverage was a big one, where if your house gets flooded and there's like loopholes where like, oh, that's water damage, that's not covered. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everything is so crazy now, and there's like they're saying like, oh, that's the damage, that's flood damage, that's not water damage, and so that's not covered. Like there are all kinds of random loopholes. If they really wanted to screw you over, they could. And and Florida and California are not the only states where the insurance went up. It's like a whole all over the country. insurance is going up. And they're saying, I saw this documentary. They're saying that at some point, like the insurance companies cannot keep up paying all the all the coverage, all of the policies, right? If more stuff like this keep happening. See, Angela gets it. Like, there's all kinds of that kind of stuff, right? I know. Like, the other thing is in California right now is earthquake insurance. I don't know if you guys get earthquakes in Florida, but you know they happen in California every once in a while, and that's gonna be a big one. That's gonna mess a whole lot of people up, and I don't know how many people even have earthquake insurance because it's one of those things where you feel like an idiot if you have it and nothing happens. But when something does happen, you're like, I'm glad it happened. And you have it. But at the same time, if an earthquake really did happen, the insurance companies don't have enough money to cover it. There's no way. Like a big one. Like in California, I lived in California my whole life. And my whole life, ever since I was in elementary school, I always remember them talking about the big one. Yeah, okay, yeah, you have hurricanes, but that happens every year, right? The hurricanes and tornadoes, and in a way, they can forecast them, they see them coming. Earthquakes can happen right now. Like, literally, I could be talking to you, and an earthquake can happen out of the blue. And people, I don't feel like a lot of people have earthquake insurance. Because, like I was saying before, like, ever since I was little, for 20 plus years, I've heard about the big one is coming to California along the San Andreas Fault, right? They even made movies about it. There's like 2 or 3 movies. I think there's one that was like with The Rock or whatever. And yeah, nobody's ready for that. That's the next one. Imagine if that happens this year though. Like with the fire plus a major earthquake, oh, we're gonna be in a world of hurt. There's like other, but back to the insurance thing though. I saw there were like a bunch of other states where the insurance companies are going out, and it was like they just don't have enough money to cover. I think they said that for every policy right now they're losing like maybe like 30 cents per dollar right now, and if you actually scale it up, it's like millions and billions. Oh. When I think about Florida, I think about also I got a buddy out there, and he goes fishing every day. That must be trip. And then I was like, that must be so trippy to fish on. You can fish on both, you know, Florida's a peninsula, right? And you can fish on both sides. That's really trippy. And yeah, I used to work in finance before, but not like finance, like just like loans and stuff. And I remember trying to get. I forgot what I was trying to do with this guy, but I met him on the phone. I did a lot of cold calling. That was my thing back in the day. Like 200 plus phone calls in one day. And that was like a light day. You want to hit like 400. Just want to. Right now they have these like robocalls and AI voice calls and whatnot, but no, back in the day you had to actually call people. Yeah, all the way around fishing all the time. And this guy was never in the office. It was very annoying because I forgot what he was trying to get done, but every time I try to reach him, he's out fishing somewhere. And I'm like, and then I have to talk to him about fishing, and I can care less. I just want to get my deal done, you know. almost done. We got like 3 more shirts to go. Florida. Question to Angela, if you're still there. The joke that goes around like around the country is always like when something crazy happens, it's always like, oh, Florida man, Florida woman. Like, do you feel that when if you're in Florida yourself? Like the whole Florida man, Florida woman thing where like if the craziest thing happens, first thought that comes to mind is it must be from Florida. Because like in the rest of the country, it's always like Florida man got caught with a baby and an alligator driving down the freeway. Yeah, like the most random things. Here we go. Okay, sharks. Oh yeah. I know. I get about the animals and stuff, but like, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, I don't know, Florida man was caught running naked down the street with boots on his head. Like, okay. So my question is like, the rest of the country sees that, right? And they're like, "Whoa, Florida is crazy." You, Angela, being in Florida, do you feel like that too? Like, are you walking down the street and they're like, "Oh, that's a guy with a koala backpack on his head, um, I don't know, doing backflips," and you're like, "Oh, there's another day in Florida." I think like every state has their thing that they're like trying to think like I think when you tell someone you're from California, they think like Hollywood. They think like that Kardashian vibe. Oh, which reminds me, okay, it feels like the world is ending in a way, right? You got like, oh, the Florida man thing is true. That's funny. Okay, so this is what I was thinking about right now. It feels like the world is ending. Right, planes are coming down from the sky. We got wars going on. You know, we might get Gaza. Can't maybe we'll get uh, Canada or whatever. Egg prices are through the roof. Um, California was on fire. All you know, like America's just like crazy right now, right? And then I, I'm like scrolling through, and what did I see? Another season of the Kardashians. Like, can you imagine these people, right? The world is ending, and they were like, you know what? Let's do another season of the Kardashians. That's what we need right now. We need more Kardashians. Like, we just need more. Another season, guys. Like, we'll be in the zombie apocalypse, and it'll be keeping up with Zombie Kim. They'll just keep on filming. Like half of them were like Walking Dead, and they're just like, keep the cameras going, guys. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm not in the Hollywood, but I could totally I know enough like people from that world to see that it is very like strange. It's just their whole how they get work. That's really what it is. I think if you actually meet any of these people that are in Hollywood and talk to them normally, they're normal people. It's just the way that they get work. And that's why it's like that, where they don't want to offend anybody. Because in a way they can't. You never know if when you offend somebody that they have a job for you. And then because like you've heard the stories where like someone has a role. Like let's just say the Mandalorian. There was is it Mandalorian? There's that one that like she said something crazy and then they basically booted her out and then later it came out that it wasn't true or something, but it was too late to bring her back. But she said something crazy and she basically lost her job. But I think she's like it's coming out now that she is kind of like hard to work with. But so like the whole Hollywood area, they don't want to offend anybody. And so they kind of live that way where let's say you're like but like let's say you have like you know what I'm talking about, like the blue hair kind of people, right? And you have the blue hair and you're really far left. I'll just say that, okay? And you don't want to do anything to offend them because you never know who they know that can block you later down the road. And so they all kind of just like go through and accept everything. And that's kind of how it got that way. I feel like they're like, oh, blah blah blah's like that, okay, but he knows that person, then they know that person, and if I say anything that might offend them, maybe I might not get this movie, and I need this job. I need the job. You know what I'm talking about? Where like I got they live in a way paycheck to paycheck too, right? Even though you see that they make tons of money, they spend a lot, and so in a way that's why you see that they go broke so fast. Same thing with athletes. They make a lot of money, they spend a lot. It's just it's the same problems, there's different scale. And so they might get a job every 2 or 3 years, and if you're on that third year and money's starting to get low, you need that next job. Just like how like Nicolas Cage or whoever, like they all kind of live that way, where they make a lot, they spend a lot, and if you haven't had a job for they work like once every 2 or 3 years. Most of them, the really good ones, they work all the time. So yeah, you don't want to offend anybody, and they get kind of weird like that, when you live like that. Like I just feel like you just gotta be real, right? There's no way you can get everyone to like you. It's impossible, because if you're like in a way like Kamala tried that, this election cycle. She tried to get everyone to like her. It's impossible. You gotta do what Trump did. Zombie Kim. Ah. There's another person that was doing the same thing. Is that I always forget her first name. The Markle, the one that married the prince. Like, the world is ending, and she's got a baking show. Like, who cares? That's another thing I don't get. When they have these celebrity cooks, like, I don't care. You're not a professional chef. You don't know how to cook. Why do we care that what's her name, Markle, what she's cooking? Like, I'm pretty sure it's trash. Like, she didn't go to cooking school. She's not a real chef. Who cares? Like, I hate the shows where they have someone that has nothing to do with that field, and they're doing it and they're trying to show you, but I'm like, they don't know anything about that. Yes, you know, you get it. Like the celebrity that has no talent, but they're doing a cooking show or a baking show or whatever. It's like, I bet you that it's trash. I saw this one funny one. It was, but I mean, it's the Jamie Oliver. You know, but he's like a real chef. But I just thought it was funny. He was trying to cook the Vietnamese noodles, and he was adding all kinds of stuff in there, and is trashing him because it's like none of that stuff goes into pho. Like it's, but he's cooking pho because, and you know why he's cooking, because it at the time that he was probably filming that, it was becoming very popular. Like it's like saying like you get like a Chinese person to make a Texas barbecue, right? Like yeah, they could do it, but they'll probably add a bunch of stuff that doesn't go in there, and you're like, and you're trying to teach other Texans how to make Texas barbecue or whatever. Oh, I think that's what I saw, the Mr. Rogers, and I saw that, and I was like, that's so true. Ah. Okay. But yeah, like I feel like if, sometimes you gotta stick to your thing. I understand you're trying to do like the whole crossover thing, but like you gotta just be real. None of this like clout chasing stuff. Like you know, he was only trying to cook pho because it was gaining popularity. Oh, but yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. You guys could be checking out Internet Babes or whatever, but you choose to spend your time with me. Thank you so much. That got me thinking about. Sorry, the allergies are trying to get me. That got me thinking about women's clothing, right? And you know the trend right now is like crop tops, like the crop tops, high jeans or whatever, and if you're out and about, you see everyone. That's what they're wearing, right? And if you look at the prices of the clothes, right, it's the same price as it would be if it was a regular shirt, but you could obviously tell it's a lot less material because literally it's like, you know, up here now. And I feel like the fashion industry, like at least like the generally, like guys, it's so easy to trick like the general consumer because they're paying the same price for something that actually costs less to make because there's less material. You, you know what I mean? Like I'm walking about now and I'm like, huh, very interesting. If you look at it that way, where a crop top is the same price as a t-shirt, but it's less material. So at the end of the day, they make more. So you could just see where I'm going with this, where after this crop top trend kind of starts going away, you're gonna start seeing like even less, because they're gonna keep getting away with making the same, double the profits basically. Because you think about it, a crop top goes to here, a t-shirt goes to here, so they probably save like 30%. Now, what's next? Let's just move it up a little more. We could make an extra 10%, right? And yeah, so I'm like, and then same thing with like shorts and like, and everything, like shorts and pants cost almost the same. It's not that much different, but the material's different. It's less. So in a way, they would love to push more, like basically the skimpier the outfit, the more the clothing companies make. And then, what's the other trend? The baggy clothes trend, right? Baggy clothes, in a way, is also easier for them to make. Now, baggy clothes is more expensive than regular clothes. It's because they've got more material. But in a way, it's easier for them to make because you have bigger seams. Like they don't have to sew, do all these intricate seams, like like, and then snip it in. They just have it. Let's see what's going on here. Don't let it go on. Probably single. Oh, I wish I knew what you guys thought. I can't scroll up from here. Okay, I see single mom. What I think about when I think about that is there's this like theory in like the black community that back in the day they have all these I feel like I'm explaining it wrong, but like basically I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was like the government wants to keep the mom single, and what they do is that's why they have so many welfare programs for single moms. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I forget. I'm gonna get off the topic because I can't remember. But I don't want to butcher it and then sound like a complete idiot. All right, thanks for staying with me. I am done with my order. I gotta pack it up now. I would show, but I gotta move around, and I don't think that's very interesting because then you just see this for like a good hour or so. But I'll probably be back later during lunchtime.
Are you on the